It's time now for an in-depth look at the market news as we start the week. And for that, I'm joined on the line by Dr. Soo-young, professor of business at Chung-Ang University. Dr. Song, thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, good to see you again.
So just minutes before the markets closed last week on Wall Street, President Trump said a deal had been reached with China that'll reduce, as we just heard, some planned tariffs in exchange for China buying $40 or $50 billion more in U.S. agricultural goods. What do you see in this? Is it a big deal?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal, even though the total amount is relatively small and the China's concession was less than expected. But however, both sides would like to make a deal because both sides have suffered enough from the past escalation of the trade conflict. And consequently, China has been relieved of the potential run out of the capital out of China or the stark appreciation of the China's renminbi. On the other hand, Trump administration has been pressured because of the recent employment, new jobs opening in August is less than expected. And particularly, it could have some damage on the Midwest areas in the United States. As a result, both sides would like to make a deal, even though it is tentative. But further, it could signal the further development of in phase 2 in Santiago on November 15th in the APEC meeting. And so this turns out to be some turning point of the China and the U.S. dispute, which will work in favor of the world economy.
Well, clearly the trade deal, a big factor in the markets. Wall Street was up on Friday. Today there's a rally in Asian markets. What's happening there, and where do you see the markets going in the days to come?
Yeah, always the stock market has been with some excessively so exaggerated. So we do not see very positive news out of the stock price increase in the Asian market. But at least this could be some good indication of the further alleviation of the U.S. and China trade dispute. So which will be a very good news to the world economy. So the stock market reaction is reflected the people's anticipation, but we have to wait and see what would be the phase 2 agreement or truce could be retained and sustained in the future or not.
Indeed. Well, this week we have the Bank of Korea meeting to set interest rates. What else is coming up that we should be watching?
Oh, definitely. I expect the 0.25 percentage point decrease in the basic interest rate because particularly Korea has suffered so much from the China and the U.S. trade dispute because our economy relies too much on the international trade. And also, recently, the newly elected IMF chairwoman, the Kristalina Georgiev, has pointed the 3 countries specifically on her speech in IMF meeting about Germany, Netherlands, and South Korea, whose fiscal status of the government is too good to not to use the fiscal policy. So she has urged the 3 countries to spend more money, particularly to boost the economic spending, particularly in Korea, whose percentage rate of the government debt against GDP is less than 50%. This is actually austerity. I think this is austerity. So therefore, I would like to urge not only the decrease of the basic interest rate by the Bank of Korea, but also the quite large expansion of fiscal policy is expected.
Well, we'll be watching for those measures to come down the pipe soon. All right, Dr. Song, that's where we'll have to leave it today. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.